85 years. It's live Thursday. So why is their stream so quiet? I have their stream maxed out and it's super quiet. Mess with the audio a bit. It's like I'm walking into a club with Blade. Probably shouldn't win live so early. Still 5 minutes left. I actually have to talk to you people. Yeah. You read that right? You heard that right? You seen that right? Can't wait. Same. Rude. Kind of true though, right? Kind of true though, right? Man, you know what's crazy? Is that you guys can't see what I have right over there. Hashtag ambassador. And you have no idea what I have right there. Hashtag preview card. Some Latin? My hat's crooked. Is it better? Is that better? Is that better? Ever get the alien? Yeah, I got it. I can't show it because YouTube will shut my stream down. But I did get it. They found a new breed of toucan. It's a short bill with a U-shaped bill. They're calling it the UK. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm actually glad I'm not at PAX Did you see all the lines and stuff to get into this? Insanity. Insanity. Oh, here's I just got to reply to the tweet. I'm in line to get there right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, is it? It's amazing. It's the best handgun I've ever owned. Second drop. Well, I mean, the only stuff that's limited is going to be the collector stuff. There won't be a reprint of that, but there will be people that get their full allotment and they'll actually be able to put it up online. So maybe prices will sink a little bit, but not for very long. Then it's going to skyrocket. What gun is it? The Alien? Laugo Alien? It's a Gucci gun. Precons and normal cards. Oh, LGSs will have plenty of those. LGSs will have tons of those. They'll keep reprinting all those. All of the non-collector stuff will keep getting reprints, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Getting louder? They have the Buster Sword of Magicon. You can get a picture with it? Oh, absolutely. Oh, I see what they did there. Well done, Wizards. Well done. Well done. It's so quiet. Here, let me turn it up for you guys.
Hello. My name is Ben Starr.
Smaller woman who wants to have enough and not enough.
And that is the correct reaction to my name. Some of you might know me as Clive Rossfield from Final Fantasy XVI. Others might know me as that weird actor who is unreasonably obsessed with Final Fantasy VIII. But whether you were raised, yes, but whether you were raised in the mean hallways of Balam Garden, the crumbling playgrounds of Midgar, or the bustling markets of Rabanastra, yeah. For those at home, a lot of call and response happening right now, but believe me, it's good stuff. We have something for everyone who's ever had their lives changed by the magic that is Final Fantasy.
Yeah, this is PAX.
Today, yeah, that's Whoop again. It just makes me feel good. Today, we're going to be talking to the team who have worked tirelessly over the past 4 years to meticulously bring this iconic franchise to Magic the Gathering. We have 2 very, very special hours where the hits keep on hitting. And during that time, we will see this incredible set come to life with tons of never-before-seen previews, including at least 1 preview card from every single core game. In addition to this, I will be summoning some very special guests to join me in a little trivia game that I like to call Summon the Numbers. But let's start the show.
It's a weird game.
So here is a very special message from the home of Square Enix.
皆さん、はじめまして、スクエアエニックスの市川です。私はファイナルファンタジーVIIシリーズであるモバイル向けファイナルファンタジーVIIエバークライスのプロデューサーをしており、本セットにおいてはスクエアエニックス側のプロデューサーをしております。いよいよデビューショーケースが始まりますね。ずっとこの瞬間が訪れることを心待ちにしていました。まず最初に一言だけ言わせてください。本セットを期待や情熱を持って心待ちにしてくださった全ての方へ本当にありがとうございます。 マジック、そしてファイナルファンタジーに愛を注いでくださった全ての皆様のおかげで、今日という特別な日を迎えることができました。昨年10月の先行公開映像、今年2月のファーストルックと、ここまで長い旅路を共に歩んできましたが、ついに本日さらなる情報を皆様にお届けいたします。このセットはマジックとファイナルファンタジーを愛し続け、お互いが真剣に向き合い続けたからこそ、この素晴らしい形にできたものだと思っています。今回でファイナルファンタジーシリーズに初めて触れるマジックファンの皆様、このセットに登場するカードたちはファイナルファンタジーのストーリーやキャラクターらしさをしっかりと捉えた上で、マジックのルールの中で再構築されています。たとえファイナルファンタジーを知らなくても、マジックでの冒険をお楽しみいただけるはずです。そしてマジックに初めて触れるというファイナルファンタジーファンの皆様、プレイされたことがない方は RPG でパーティーを組むイメージをしてください。マジックにおけるデッキは RPG のパーティーと同じで、ちょっと工夫を凝らすだけでどんな相手にも有効な戦術を見出すことができます。ぜひお近くの店舗などに足を運んでみてください。きっとお気に入りの1枚が見つかるはずです。そして最後は私のような両方のゲームを愛する方へ。
Do you think this guy feels bad that he's a producer of a game that's not even represented in
皆様大変お待たせいたしました。
in the Magic set?
It's showtime! Let's step into the world of Magic the Gathering and Final
I can read that.
Fantasy!
Okay, it's time to meet the team. He's a principal game designer on Magic the Gathering. You might know him best as the host of Good Morning Magic. He's also been the lead designer on sets like Battle Bond, Mystery Booster, and most recently of all, oh yes, Final Fantasy. He is Gavin VIII!
So that's how you pronounce that. I've been saying that wrong forever.
Oh, thank you. Gavin, what's your favorite Final Fantasy?
Well, that would be Final Fantasy IX. Whoa. Some true fans in the house out here tonight.
The war starts here. Okay, our next panelist is known for his work as the product architect of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, Universes Beyond Fallout, Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed, and Bloomburrow. He is also the executive producer of Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. He is the one and only Zakiel Gordon.
That first name is actually kind of awesome. Could you imagine, like, what's your name? Zakiel. Oh shit!
I actually
right,
think,
sorry.
there we go, we're good. What's your favorite Final Fantasy?
My favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy X.
Ooh. Did Final Fantasy X get a bigger shout out than Final Fantasy IX? Can I hear my 9 fans again? Can I hear my 9 fans? Can I hear my 10 fans?
9 is the superior
guys.
game.
That's crazy. Okay. Next up, he's a senior game designer of Magic the Gathering, probably best known for his work on Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. He is also responsible for mechanical frame and icon design across all sets. He is the lead game designer for Final Fantasy Commander decks. He is Daniel Holt.
What's up, Kupo?
And there's the re-roll. Oh wait, wrong stream.
Here we go, the big question, everyone's waiting for it. What is your favorite Final Fantasy?
Like Zakiel, it is Final Fantasy X-2. That is 10,2.
He's wearing a fucking
Girls
cloud
trip
shirt.
for life, baby.
How dare he?
Right, here we go. He's principal narrative game designer for Universes Beyond creative team. He's worked on Fallout Commander decks, leads the upcoming Avatar The Last Airbender set, and was the narrative lead for Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. It's Dylan Devaney.
Oh my gosh, look at everyone!
Dylan, let's shake this place to the core. What's your favorite Final Fantasy?
I'm ready to tell you that my personal favorite Final Fantasy game is none other than Final Fantasy IV. Yeah, look at that! I love it! That's right!
I don't remember anything about
A lot
4.
of old school connoisseurs just got very excited there. So, here we are at the start of our journey. Final Fantasy
but he's wrong.
1. The Magna Carta of video games, something that quite literally changed the landscape of gaming forever. Dylan, tell us the story.
When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come.
9 was
This is the
good.
beginning of the
9 was good.
genre-defining game that started it all. Final Fantasy I features the prophesized Warriors of Light as they embark on this adventure across time.
I don't remember when 4 came out.
Right, as the player, you can select from 4
Long-ass
of
time
6
ago.
possible jobs to become your Warriors of Light. And your first deadly challenge as the Warriors of Light are to take on none other than Garland, Knight of Cornelia.
91?
And though Garland is keen to knock you down, the 4 Warriors of Light are triumphant, and they defeat their first adversary. But they incidentally create a paradoxical time loop that puts them in the deadly foes of none
was on
other
Nintendo.
than Chaos. Chaos!
Yeah.
This game lays the foundation for many of the iconic elements we're going to see across all of the 16
'Cause it was,
mainline games.
Final Fantasy was
Things like
Nintendo
prophecies
until
and crystals, the
7.
job system, overworld
7 went
exploration,
to,
random encounters, leveling
Sony.
up, high-stakes adventures, airships, you name it. This is where we firmly plant our foot and decide this is what Final Fantasy is going to become.
So, Gavin, jobs and classes. How did you do that?
Yeah, we knew from the very beginning we needed to have a way to show off the jobs of Final Fantasy. And we talked about it for a long time and came up with the idea of a brand new mechanic that looks a little like an
7
older
was
mechanic
supposed to be on the
called
64.
the Job Select. So this shows up on equipment throughout the set. And when the equipment comes into play, you make a 1/1 hero token, and then you attach the equipment to it. So if you know Magic, you might recognize this as, say, Living Weapon or for Mirrodin. Living Weapon makes 0 0s, for Mirrodin makes 2 2s. There's a number between those two, which is 1 1. So we went for that here. Now, they all confer abilities, as you can see, that are really keen to what the class is doing. The White Mage Staff heals you, the Black Mage's Rod pings your opponent. But the other thing that's worth
their
calling out in
screen is
particular
doing it.
is they also confer the type that class
look,
or job has. So
it's
the White
the-
Mage's Staff
it's their
turns you into
camera.
a cleric, the Black Mage's Rod turns you into a wizard.
Their camera's
and so
not
on.
very
So that's
good.
a little flavor nod happening right there. We grabbed all the job select cards in this
I
set
don't
from
remember.
Final Fantasy I.
I watched a video
and
on it.
Final Fantasy XIV.
It was something to do
which
with
you
like
might see
the
some of
the
later.
memory.
Oh, what a tease. Thank you, all 4 of you, but I do believe it is time to meet the last member of our panel. She is an art director on Magic the Gathering. She's worked on universes beyond sets such as Assassin's Creed, Doctor Who, and, of course, Final Fantasy. Joining us on video, it's Stephanie Chung.
See if
Hey,
her video.
Patsies.
Oh, her video's
I'm so
good.
excited to share our next card with you. Long before I ever played my first game in the Final Fantasy series, I was already obsessed with their iconic character designs. It was influence on my own journey as an artist and deepened my love for video games. So I think you'll all agree
Is that what it was?
that
Cartridge
it wouldn't
costs?
be Final Fantasy if we didn't include art from the legendary Yoshitaka Amano. And what better way to celebrate his influence and incredible talent than his original Cloud Sea Djinn? This incredible piece is featured in a showcase frame you've seen before. The transparent frame allows us to show off the art with
Nyx
minimal
Bloom?
distractions from mechanics and text. You can really immerse yourself and truly appreciate the details of Amano's mark-making and masterful washes of ink. This piece is a great example of his iconic style, especially with the incredible way he balances negative space. From the pale clouds contrasting the dark figure of the Djinn,
Amano's
the flow
such a
of
good artist.
details from the Djinn's hand, cascading around the party and spilling into the clouds around them. The card also isn't anything to sneeze at. Nyx Bloom Ancient is a flashy card that is a dream for any Stompy deck.
Thank you. We are going to be hearing from Stephanie throughout the show, and now we are underway. We are done with 1. Let's move on to Final Fantasy II. This is a more high fantasy, expanding and iterating on the ideas that were laid down in 1, without many radical changes. Sakil, take us through this.
Yeah, absolutely. So Final Fantasy II is
Start getting to the good
totally
games. Come on.
very similar in creative tone. The main difference lies in a game mechanic called
it's-
weapon
it's like-
skill,
look at it, it's
which is based
vibrating.
on your proficiency as you yield weapons in battle and gain experience throughout
Gonna
the
irritate
game.
me.
So it only makes sense for the main character of Final Fantasy II, Firion, to interact with equipment. So let's take a look. Firion is a 3-mana 3/3 that equipped creatures you control have haste, and whenever
The video's
another
fucking with me.
equipment comes into the battlefield, you create a copy of that, and it has the ability to cost 2 less to equip. So we just showed you a White Mage's Rod. If you have this in play and cast that, not only do you get another copy of that equipment, but you also get another 1/1 hero. And then similarly,
More Amano.
the next card on our Final Fantasy Through the Ages bonus sheet is SRAM. Red-white, of course, is a prolific archetype within Magic, all revolving around equipment. And we think this is a brand new way to be able to collect beautiful artwork by Yoshitaka Amano and play both of these copies of Firion alongside each other on the battlefield.
Thank you very much. And also, thank you for everyone here right now who's oohing and ahhing in exactly the right place.
Ahhing. Ooh,
It really validates all their work. So thank you so much.
Damn Brits.
I am eager to see more cards, and it's written down here. It says, I am as eager as a beaver. Gavin, explain yourself.
All right, so I want to give a big shout out to Yanni Skalnick, who led the early vision design of the set. And when he handed it off to me, there's a card in there called Commune with Beavers. And I was like, Yanni, you got to tell me what's going on with this card. And he told me the story about talking with beavers, get the information that you need. And I was like, we have to preserve this. So it stayed the whole way through the entire life cycle of this set. Now, to me, this is a great blending of Magic and Final Fantasy, because a commune spell in Magic looks at your top few cards for a card, and so it kind of blends the flavor of Final Fantasy, the name Commune with Beavers, with a Magic effect, where of course it looks at your top few cards for a beaver or any other creature you might want to have around. So just a simple little common, but kind of gets at the whimsy that Final Fantasy has, right? There's a lot of epic fights and incredible monsters, and also sometimes just guy speaks beaver, you know? And that's the important part of this moment here on this card.
I like to think that we all speak beaver. Moving swiftly on. We're moving on from 2 to, guess what, number 3. Final Fantasy
what's next,
III. It's
is
worth
3?
remembering that both
Crazy.
2 and 3 didn't release in the US until years later. But there is one thing that kind of remains true, which is the defining iconography of the crystals. Dylan, walk us through this.
Yeah, I'm really happy you brought up crystals, right? We're going to talk about crystals a lot throughout the show, and it is a signature element of Final Fantasy. So in Final Fantasy III, our characters are going to go on a journey, the Onion Knights that become the Warriors of Light, go on a journey to bring balance to the elemental crystals across the land, just as the Golgan people prophesized. And so we were talking about how we were going to bring this element into Magic the Gathering.
Jug.
And we decided that, well, there's 4 elemental crystals, and there are the dark crystals in the malevolent world of darkness. Perhaps we smell a cycle. So
Jug.
let's take a little bit more look at the darkness crystal. Daniel, I want to hear about the tiny crystal we see here.
Yeah, as Dylan mentioned, crystals are so prominent within Final Fantasy that it only made sense when working on the set symbol that was the first spot we went. You'll see the Chocobo later in Commander. We'll talk about that when we get there. But you can see this rarity symbol here is the crystal. Gavin, you want to talk about the card?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as was mentioned earlier, yeah, well, there's the nice booster fun version. And by the way, what I was about to say, there's 5 crystals in the set, 1 for each color, and they all have a cool booster fun version like this you can go collect. Now, they are a 5-card cycle, 1 for each color. They all cost 4 mana. They're all legendary artifacts. They all make spells of that color cost 1 less. But the rest of them is a little unique depending on what that crystal does. They've got a big activated ability of some kind, a cool static ability. I'll let all of you start speculating now. But the crystals, you're going to want to try
collector.
and get all the
The
money.
one on the right will be collector
So
boosters.
Gavin, earlier you mentioned starting towns. I believe right now you have a new land to show us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, if you're playing Final Fantasy, there's, once again, these huge epic battles, but you also want some simple little concepts, especially at Common, like this Adventurer's Inn. So this is a brand new land subtype. This is a town. You'll find towns all throughout the set in Final Fantasy, the many places and locations that you end up at. If you've played Ravnica before, it's kind of like Gates, where there are some cards that key into what towns do. It doesn't have any inherent meaning. And there's a lot of lands ranging from simple commons all the way up to rares, and maybe, just maybe, we might see a rare one later on. But here you go, a nice little Adventurer's Inn. Of course, what would an inn do? But give you back a couple life. Take a nice rest. If you've got the money for it, get those 2 life.
So that's a lovely little taste of Final Fantasy III. Let's move on to Final Fantasy IV. Dylan, you have been waiting for this moment.
Yeah, that's a common.
Yes, I have. Thank you also. I really love that, and I needed that, so thank you. So yes, I would love to talk about my personal favorite, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy IV holds a very, very special place in my heart because I think it was the first time I really discovered what narrative game design was and the power of the medium when I was very, very
Oh,
young
Shark,
on
I
Super
wish.
Nintendo. The journey
wish.
that Cecil goes through, starting as a Dark Knight, wielding very wicked power in service to the potentially corrupt King of Baron, he goes on this journey of redemption to become a paladin of light. And we were talking about this story, and I was telling Gavin, I was like, listen, this story meant a lot to me.
Booster
because
for this
in
is
the
over a
game,
K?
right? You
Really?
have this amazing Dark Knight sprite, you go to Mount Ordeals, you claim your sword, and you become a paladin, and then you have to fight yourself in this 1v1 battle to come to terms with your darkness, slay your inner evils, and truly become a
Didn't we
paladin.
already see these?
And so this story was so important to me personally. It's something that made me fall in love with Final Fantasy, and it was a story that
I swear we
I
already
think,
saw these.
did a pretty good job of.
Yeah, and you know, we brought the story to life. We're trying to figure out how to tell this story, and one of the tools we have in this set are
Redeemed is
double-sided
new.
cards,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So you see these
So it's just the
double-faced cards
backside
here
of it.
with Cecil, where he starts off as the Dark Knight and then transforms
'Cause these are
into the
double-sided.
redeemed Paladin. Final Fantasy has so many moments for villains and heroes alike where they undergo these great transformations, and there's several double-faced cards in the set that do just that, where you get to see the characters evolve before your very eyes. And also on screen here, you'll see that gorgeous Booster Fun version of Cecil, which is really, really, really neat. And I'm so glad we were able to capture this. I was inspired by Death's Shadow, if any of you Magic players out there know that card, to make a card that dealt damage to you, and then eventually it flips over to be a 4/4 lifelinker and start gaining that life right on back. But Cecil is not the only card.
I love
It's a dragoon.
everyone here so much.
Cecil is not the only card that we wanted to design from Final Fantasy IV, and a character that posed a lot of trouble for me was Kain. I kept trying to design Kain, I could not figure out how to do it, and then one day, Dylan sends me something.
I was like, Gavin, I don't want to snoop in, I don't want to step on your toes, but I really like this game, I really like this character, I have a pitch that I'm going to send you, and he was very nice enough to read it.
You
He
do
went
be
over it,
jumping.
And he looked at me and was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we kind of moved forward to trying to capture one of Kane's most complicated story elements. If you are a fan of this game, or if you've played this game, you felt the same heartbreak and betrayal that I did when you went up into that boss battle and you're like, wait, what do you mean he left my party? What do you mean he's fighting for Golbez? Where is he going? And so we wanted to capture that sense at the table when you play it. So I had this idea, maybe he defects, maybe he passes around. There is the story of the treasure tokens being the crystals you're collecting. I was very happy with it, and Gavin was kind enough to link it into the rest of the file, which I'm very appreciative, by the way.
And I want to call out,
precons
this
are
is
up
Dylan's
on
first ever Magic
Amazon
card
if you want to
published.
pre-order
so
them.
big hand for Dylan
All,
right here.
all four for $279.
Thank you very much.
His childhood favorite character
pretty
as
solid.
a card. That's pretty cool.
Right, let's move on. It's time for Final Fantasy V. And whilst we do, Okay, good for you. That's nice. Not many, but good for you. As we head on to Final Fantasy V, obviously a very, very beloved game, I want us to take a step back and figure out, well, explain to us how you arrived at the overall shape of this set.
Yeah, so that's a monumental question and a very good one of how did we fit 16 Final Fantasy games into one set. There are a lot of characters, there's a lot of stories, there's a lot of games, magic, spells, items, abilities, lands, adventures, quests, mini-games, songs, and how do we put it all into one thing? We needed something early on to help make decisions. So if you can imagine the four of us in a room at the Wizards of the Coast office with a locked door, we made a conspiracy board on the wall, we opened up an Excel sheet, we got the whiteboard, and we wrote down every game, and we just said, okay, what do you remember about Final Fantasy I? Go way back in the archives, go deep in the tank. What do you remember loving about this game? And we did that for 2, 3, all the way up for every single game. And then when we were done with that, weeks later, we went to our fellow wizards in the office, and I asked everyone the same intense line of questioning. And then when we were done with that, weeks later, we went to Square Enix, and we talked to the game producers and the designers and the developers, and we were like, what were you very proud of with your game? What is very special about the title that you worked on? What is the thing that you would want everyone to see once again? And once we had all of that, we were able to start our process. So from there, we kind of made this internal tier system, tiers 1, 2, and 3, to help us make decisions. These weren't like, oh, these are the best and these are the worst. These are just, we need to make some decisions along the way. Some characters will be here, some characters won't be here. So tier 1, we decided was, these are the things that have to be here. These are the DNA of Final Fantasy. So Chocobos, Moogles, they absolutely have to be there. You expect to see them, so you're gonna see them. Tier 2 are the, hey, if you're a fan of a very specific game, you're going to recognize it. Maybe it's an iconic mini game, or an NPC that you really fell in love with, or a super boss you spend many hours losing against, like me. And then Tier 3 was the super duper crunchy deep cut. This is for the nerds. No way you spent time and money to get that in. Yes, we did. We had to do that. And so I really look forward to all of you, and I challenge all of you to go through and find the Tier 3s that we snuck in there across the set.
Okay, then, Dylan.
Gilgamesh.
Which tier is this cheeky boy in?
Gilgamesh is
Shows
clearly
up across
the top
multiple
tier.
games. He's tier 1.
This is a recurring villain who plays kind of the comic relief in the game. He has a passion for weapons, and that's exactly what his card does. It's a Titanic ability. If you're familiar with Magic, a Titan ability is enters and attacks. He searches for those equipment. He looks at the top 6 cards of your library, gets all of those equipment onto the battlefield. And then you pick one of them, it keeps going. One of them goes for free onto any samurai you control, whether it's from Kamigawa, whether it's Gilgamesh himself, snaps onto that samurai and gets to fighting.
Thank you so much for the ooze again. They make
Big
us
quest line in 7 remake, too.
Right, Zakil, our next card you're going to take us through showcases the depth of the worlds you get to play in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the Universes Beyond program,
Gilgamesh is going to be popular.
You get to tailor each set.
He's going to be a Voltron. I bet Trip will make him since he's got the tism towards Voltron.
Magic players and as Final Fantasy fans is through the lens of design. Now, internally, we have this thing called a complexity dial that kind of goes from 1 to 5, with 1 being kind of our intro-level products and 5 being our more complex products like a Horizon set. Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy is a little bit higher on that dial, specifically because you all, as video game players and specifically RPG fans, already innately understand a lot of aspects of game development. We don't have to explain the idea of health or mana or damage or items or party configuration or the difference between a glass cannon versus a tank. So internally, we just really had the rule of cool to make sure that we made the best versions of each character, went through Magic's archives to bring back all of the most awesome mechanics that pay off all of your favorite moments. So the best example of that is in Bartz and Boko. And Bartz and Boko have a very interesting ability, and that is Affinity for Birds. So Affinity is a long-time Magic mechanic that has been around for more than 20 years, and this is a way in which we're able to build specific themed decks within the set to encourage you to play. Perhaps there is a Chocobo deck that you can build from the set, and then when they come into play, each other bird you control deals damage to your opponents, which we think will be pretty fun and limited.
Yeah, I gotta say, in our internal testing, I was always on Team Birds. I love the standard. You can take like your Bloomborough birds and your Chocobos and put them together to make a cool deck. So count me in as a bird fan. Go Birds.
Go Birds!
Just as a vibe check, have we got any bird fans in the audience? I like you so much. Okay.
He likes the Eagles.
Moving on.
Good job, Gavin.
Final Fantasy VI.
Show Kafka.
I said, sorry, I don't think you heard me. I said Final Fantasy VI. Daniel, Final Fantasy VI is the first of 4 games that have Commander decks. Is that correct?
That's true. We get to talk about Commander. This is the first of 4 Commander decks. Commander decks, if you're not familiar, are 100-card pre-constructed decks. When you buy this deck, it will be completely themed around Final Fantasy VI, as the other games when we get to them. This deck specifically, we focused on the second half of the Final Fantasy VI game to set you up for story. Kefka just won, the world's in ruin, all your party members are scattered across the land, and you're going to gather them back up, form your party, get the gang back together, and go take down Kefka.
You missed 1 through 4,
and that's exactly what Terra here does. Her trance ability, when she attacks, she'll get invasive so she can connect in, but she's also going to fill your graveyard with your party members and friends. Then when she connects, you're going to bring them back, you're going to get the party together, and you're going to go conquer Kefka.
Pretty cool. Do you want to show us a little bit how summons might work in this game?
Well, it wouldn't be Final Fantasy without summons. With Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy, we introduced it as Saga creatures. These are both creatures and sagas. So you'll get your creature out, summon Esper Valagramande, has haste, so it'll attack right away. But as the turns pass, you'll tick down, get those abilities. The first one, you're going to be pulling resources from all graveyards, all those non-creature spells, and over time you're going to get mana to cast those spells. And at the end of the chapter, it's going to go away in an epic conclusion.
Wow. So, do we have any Terra fans in the audience?
Enchantment creatures, yep. It's going to be good in a Bombadil deck.
I like Terra Held of Hope, but here's the card. I think we've shown it. She looks pretty good, right? Here's Stephanie to tell us a little bit more.
Thanks, Ben. You may have noticed that there is something very special about these two paintings. In our Final Fantasy Artist series, we have invited 9 incredible artists from Square Enix to illustrate any character from the Final Fantasy franchise. They were not limited to the series that they worked on, but invited to illustrate any character, especially ones that they have always wanted to paint. So not only are these painted by the one and only Yoshitaka Amano, but these are brand new paintings of Terra, never before seen until this Universes Beyond partnership. And without further ado, here's a special message from Amano himself.
ファイナルファンタジーはね、やっぱりずっとやってきてるし。
Getting old, my guy.
あ、こっちはもうね、なるべく非常識な絵を描こうっていうことで、とらわれないで描きました。これはもう、状況がもういっちゃってるんですよね。炎の中に入ってるっていうんですかね。ケフカはもうめちゃくちゃですね。狂った色、いろんな色が入った方が、いいんじゃないかなっていう。イメージみたいなぼやっとしたものがあって、それを形にしていく。その行為が、楽しいというか。まず、通常のティナは剣持ってて、空挺がいっぱいいてっていう、ファイナルファンタジーの世界をちょっと、もう一回表現してみる。こっちの変身後の方は、
We've already seen one of the Nomura arts.
The
Sephiroth they're going to show that they showed, I saw pictures of. They showed the card without the text box. The Sephiroth one is Nomura art.
かっこいいですね。素晴らしいです。
They are showing Kefka.
素晴らしいですね。小さいんですけども、すごい重みがあるというんですかね。マジックとファイナルファンタジーのコラボレーション。皆さん楽しんでください。
So if we're going to get art from Amano to put on our cards, we had better make some pretty awesome magic cards. And that's what you're seeing here with Terra. So on her front face, she comes down. She finds you an enchantment. One of those saga creatures, perhaps. Something that she can summon. When it's time, you can flip her over to her other side.
100%.
To return the
These
card
are the chase
over
cards.
to unlock Esper Terra.
All the
she
special
copies
arts
an
will
enchantment
be
that you
the
have and does something we've
chase
never done in
cards.
Magic before, which lets you kind of set it on the chapter counter you want, get the abilities you want, and then it goes away. After her 4 chapters are done, she adds 10 mana to your pool, which for all you astute Magic fans in the audience, you might notice that she is green and red, and she starts adding white, blue, and black, which is, of course, the Esper color combination in Magic the Gathering. She flips back over to her front side, and then you can do it all over again. Plus, get that Enter's ability to grab another enchantment. A really powerful Magic card,
that
and
can
really
be a full
worthy of this incredible artwork.
That's a full 5-color card, right? I wasn't paying attention. Was that
Dylan,
all 5?
Please, would you bring us up to speed on the narrative of Final Fantasy VI?
So it sounds like we have a lot of Final Fantasy VI fans here in the audience today.
Yes, all 5?
But if you haven't played this,
I just saw like 4, and I'm like, yeah, let's see.
It's
probably all 5.
All understand what we're talking about here. So Final Fantasy VI is an epic told in 2 parts. The first half of the story revolves around the conflict between the Gestalian Empire
right, not to
and the
cast, but
Eternus
it's
resistance
identity.
movement.
Color identity
it
is
takes on
5.
the very classic shape of a Final Fantasy story, right? We're introduced to our many beloved cast of characters like Terra and Celeste, Locke, and eventually we see them all come together, rally to battle against Kefka, one of video games' most iconic villains of all time. But of course, as the chosen heroes to save the world from the villain of this game, you would expect that when you go up against Kefka, you are victorious. But perhaps, as Daniel alluded previously, something special about Final Fantasy VI is halfway through the game, you lose. And so, the second part of this game is about the world of Ruin, where Kefka has become the ruler of all. He has become all-powerful and is the master of all magic. So, your party is scattered to the winds. Eventually, Celeste, Terra come back together. You rally everyone to take on Kefka one more time and eventually conquer the ruler of Ruin.
So, Gavin, do you want to take us through this card?
Yeah, this is a very special one, Ben. So, of course, featuring that amazing artwork by Amano, a blue, black, and red legend. When Kefka enters, you play a little mini-game. Each player is going to discard some cards, and then you get to draw some cards back up, well-fitting of kind of the mini-game aspect that Kefka has. But when it is time to go to the World of Ruin, you can pay 8 mana. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent, the world gets a little ruined, and then you flip Kefka over. 5/7, flying. It can attack right away the turn you flip it over, of course, as long as it's been played for a turn. You hit your opponent, you draw 5 more cards, and then as long as Kefka's in play, whenever an opponent loses life, you draw that many cards. It is very hard to come back from getting hit by Kefka, just as it should be.
Okay, there you have it. Final Fantasies 1 through 6. We are halfway through our show, and we are going to give our incredible panelists a little break for a few minutes. So please give it up for our panelists. Thank you so much.
It's been 30 minutes.
Not you, Gavin. You stay here, you naughty boy. Right, friends. We're going to shake things up. We're going to play a little game I've been contractually obliged to call Summon the Numbers. Are you ready? Summon the Numbers is a game that's going to involve some guests. It's also going to involve you, and it's going to involve a lot of chaos. This has been a very slick show so far. This bit is going to destroy all of that.
You guys like chaos? The people have spoken, Ben.
One more time. Okay, I can't do this alone. I need some special guests. Let's get them out here. 2 teams, 4 special guests. The first guest is starting with our first team, a multiple championship title winner, a massive fan following, widely recognized catchphrase, Baby. This legendary professional wrestler from All Elite Wrestling has proven himself to be a generational entertainer. He's also a passionate gamer who's built a significant following with his gaming content. Please welcome Adam Cole.
I don't know who that is. Is that a young Brian Kibler?
Joining him, she's a multimedia content creator who's passionate about Magic the Gathering, sharing her love for the game through gameplay reviews and box openings on Twitch and YouTube as she strives to make the MTG space more inviting for everyone. Outside of content creation, she's also an actor and enjoys building community both online and at events. Please welcome Talia Vess.
I don't know who that is either.
Hey team, how you doing? You feeling good?
Very good.
Feeling very, very good. Very confident.
Yeah?
Very confident.
You think you're going to win?
Oh, I think it's a guarantee.
Absolutely.
I think it's an absolute guarantee.
Unfortunately, there's
like your confidence.
2 people standing in your way. The other team, this is who they're going to be facing. A professional wrestler from Canada, is a founding member of All Elite Wrestling and is widely regarded as one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's entered the Tokyo Dome as Sephiroth, or One-Winged Angel, and as a theme song created by Masayoshi Soken and Nobuo Uematsu, a passionate gamer and Final Fantasy lover. Give it up for Kenny Omega.
I don't know any of these people.
Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Whoa. Woo.
And joining him, you know our next participant as Kimiko in Amazon's Emmy-nominated series The Boys, as well as David Litch's action thriller Bullet Train and David Ayer's Suicide Squad. She's also a robust voiceover actor, with most recently heard in Studio Ghibli's English dub of The Boy and the Heron as Lady Himi, and Amazon's animated reboot of Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, as well as the Netflix series She-Ra and Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts. Say hello to Karen Fukuhara.
I know who this is.
Hello.
Wowee!
How's it going, Pax? Wow, look at this turnout.
Great.
It's incredible.
Her microphone is very loud.
Oh, I mean, when they asked me who I wanted to team up with, they assumed, and don't take this the wrong way, they thought I would want to team with you, Adam, but I've got a winning partner here. So, Karen.
We're going to make you eat those words later. Trust me. Trust me. We're winning this thing. We're winning this thing, baby. Let's go.
That's right. I'm watching you.
Who better to get to deal with numbers than two wrestlers? Good idea,
personal.
Wizards. Great idea. Okay, that's not...
Hey, I take offense to that. I'm sorry.
You lose. Congratulations to this team. You are in my house now, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's not all.
Yeah, she
These
got the shit
teams
kicked out of her and the
need
boys.
Your help. Please, would you like to go out the back? The two people who are going down here.
Yes.
Those who have been instructed previously. Karen, please.
Got
We'll
this,
see you in a
Adam.
second. Adam. Oh, that's so mysterious. Where are
got
they
this, we
going,
got
I
this.
hear you say?
Let's do it.
Woo!
All right, so should we discuss
Kenny.
strategy?
Kenny.
Kenny, where the hell are you
Oh,
going?
Kenny.
Oh,
We gotta keep it secret.
No, no. You have to stay. You have to stay out
I
there.
gotta
What the
You
hell
gotta
is going
stay out
on?
there. We got this. We
have
got
so-
this.
okay, we
Kenny,
got
we
this.
have such
Okay.
a short time for this game.
No,
you are
I-
wasting so much of it.
I'm taking the piss. I'm sorry.
I
sir.
respect you so much, but you are ruining this for me.
Taking a piss.
Honestly, no, Kenny, I've told everyone that I'm doing this, and I need to look professional.
It's even worse when I wrestle. Trust me.
Okay, well, I respect you, but just not now.
You got it.
Okay, well, it's going so well, Ben. It's going so well.
Chaos, am I right?
We love chaos.
Okay, we need your help, okay? Everyone here is Team J.
Jace. Blue mages.
Everyone here
Come on.
is
Blue
Team
mages.
Chandra.
Chandra.
Wow.
Everyone in the middle is Switzerland.
Team, hurry this shit up. I want to see more
Divide
cards.
Yourself, I can't be bothered to choose. Somewhere down there, choose what you want. I don't know. This room isn't divided in the way that we hoped for this particular game. Right. Let's play this sweet, sweet game.
But of course, we're going to need some, maybe cute companions or something like that.
Yes, we
to hang
are.
out with our team members. Maybe they'd like to meet them.
Yes, do you want to see them?
Do you like something cute, something adorable?
You want to see some cute things?
I'm right
On the
here.
screen?
Oh,
I mean, come on.
Look at those guys. Come on.
Come on.
Something special for Team Jace and Team Chandra,
They're so cute. It's so cute. I've lost all of my cards and I have no idea what's going. So we are literally going at this blind, everyone.
Our little Jason Chandra Chocobo are brand new, worked in collaboration with Square Enix for this release.
Yep.
They'll be on Magic the Gathering Arena as well as pets, so pretty cool.
That is so cute, aren't they? Offensively cute. Okay, some of the numbers is a very simple game now that I've found the cards and I can explain it myself. Each question is about Magic and Final Fantasy. What a surprise. Every answer is a number. But we want you to help our teams. So joining Karen and Adam to make your guesses. If you'd like to take part, please, with some decorum, line up either side behind our guests. Okay?
Come on, Team Jace.
Good work,
Don't
Brave
be
Souls.
shy.
Good
This
work.
is the correct
line
side
'em up,
to be
baby.
on.
I hope
Once
Batty
I
gets
ask
up there.
Question, thank you. Once I ask this, I will ask you a question. Three of you will give your answers to our lovely teams down here. You will then lock in your answers, write them down here, and then we will come to the numbers master himself who will give us the correct answer.
That's right. They got an English major to do the numbers, so I'm doing what I can here, okay?
As you can see, this has already gone completely off the rails, but there is one rule. And the one rule, please, is no phones, no way. Get your filthy hands off the internet, you dirty, dirty people. Okay, here is
Making fun of
our
Magic Con
first
goers.
question.
Dirty, dirty
And
people.
I'm going to go to this team over here.
Team Jace?
Team Jace.
Wait, cheer for Team Jace.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
All right, a lot of excited people.
Here we go.
Don't encourage them. Don't encourage
Team
them.
Chandra, you want to make some noise?
Let's go, guys!
It is Kenny Omega, yeah.
Team Jace, you want to make some noise? Okay, question one. Question one. You'll get to answer soon, don't worry.
Thank you, thank
Get
you.
your guesses in. Black mages have been a recurring element in Final Fantasy ever since the very first game. But in Magic the Gathering, how many black cards have the word mage in their name?
May.
Yeah, so we're looking for numbers.
So, would you like to come forward and make your guesses, please? Team Jace.
No
So
fucking
your name,
clue.
where you're
Yeah,
from, and then
Kenny
what your
Omega plays
answer is.
Magic. And he's a Final
Hi,
Fantasy
I'm
nerd.
Alex. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm going to go with, let's go with like 20.
20. Okay.
That feels
Good guess.
safe. I like that.
Thank you so much. What's the next one? What's your guess?
Name, where you're from, what your answer is.
Patrick from Massachusetts. I'm going to say 11.
Lovely.
11. Beautiful. And name, where you're from. Nice T-shirt. What your answer is.
My name is Phil. I'm from Portland, Maine.
Portland.
I think
Any
it's
Earth? They haven't
about
showed 7
30.
yet.
Great. Okay, you're going to lock one of those answers in.
Ooh.
Do it. And whilst you're doing that, team over here, Karen, let's go.
All right. Come on up.
746,000.
Where are you from?
281.
I'm Ryan from Massachusetts.
Awesome. Give it up for Ryan. Woo.
Thank you.
So many
Okay,
words.
what's your guess?
I have
I don't know
idea,
this
but
guy,
I'm
so I
just
can't
gonna
talk
go
shit
with
to him.
25.
All right, that's safe. We like that.
That's
25.
it.
All right. You can stay up here.
guys
This
are
is a
cooked.
Final
I'm liking
Fantasy
this
collab.
already. Okay,
Yes.
next one. Let's go.
All right. What is your name and where are you from?
My name is David. I'm from Massachusetts.
Yes.
I'm going to guess 16.
A lot of Massachusetts.
Lovely. Great number. I
Love
love that number.
Love that.
Thank you. Anyone else? If you guys just keep saying 16, you automatically win. Okay. Next one.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's in
Okay. What is
Boston.
your name and where are you from?
William from New York City.
Yeah.
I am.
dig
I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna say 45.
Whoa.
Now we're talking.
Okay, guys, I want you to lock one of those
Okay.
answers in. Do you remember any of those numbers, Kenny?
Oh, yeah.
You give it
yeah.
Aether Drift
I know
collector
exactly-
boosters.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Do you remember
yeah.
those numbers, Talia?
Yeah.
You're already in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay, great. I would
am
love us
in.
to reveal your answers.
Now. Or
Yeah,
do I
now,
wait for
please. Yeah,
Kenny?
yeah, do it now if you want.
Okay,
you know
'cause
what?
he
No,
was still
do it after
writing.
the
I don't
show.
want him to
Do
see
it
my-
after the show.
I went with 20. Right in the middle.
45. Let's go.
Okay, here we
many.
Go
so
big or
many
go
names.
home.
All right, well, the
No,
correct
get
answer,
outta here.
everybody, is 43.
He was 2 off.
Team Chandra.
That's actually
Let's
really
go.
close.
That was awesome. That was awesome, guys.
We're on a tight schedule here, and all people really want to do is
Good
see
one,
cards,
Kenny.
and they're caught in a chaotic game right now. But that's okay. We're going. Question 2. It's really simple. Let's make this a little bit quicker.
I know
If you can
these
say your name doubly fast, where you're from even faster, and then the number, as if we can't almost hear it. It's so fast.
Okay.
Number 2. Let's go. There are presently 16. That's right. Mainline games in the Final Fantasy RPG series. How many creatures in Magic the Gathering have a combined power and toughness of 16?
Okay. Name, where you're from, and what your answer is. Richard from Massachusetts, and I'm going to say 27. 27. Name, where you're from, what your answer is.
Hey, I'm Matthew from Lowell, Massachusetts, and I'm going to say 15.
Name, where you're from, what your answer is.
Craig, Groveland, Massachusetts, and 41.
Good guesses. Good guesses.
Wonderful. Here we go.
Talia, feeling good about this.
Congratulations. Get those locked in. Team over here.
Thank you.
We need some low
Thank you,
numbers,
Ben.
guys.
Come
Give me
on
some
up.
low numbers.
Okay. What is your name and where are you from?
Jeff from Boston, and I'm gonna go 1.
You know it, Jeff.
Oh.
You know it.
Okay. Thank you.
1.
You know it.
Come on up. Oh, lovely shirt. I love the cats.
Me too.
Okay. Are you?
I like
Mason?
them too.
I'm Mason. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
I like them too, buddy.
Hey,
There we
my
go.
man.
All right.
I'm gonna go for 7.
Okay.
Lucky number 7. Lucky
Lovely.
number
He likes
7.
cats. Guys, he likes cats. What can I say?
We
What
love
can I
cats.
say?
Give it up for the cats.
Guys, done.
What?
It's done.
Hi,
7.
nice to meet
7's our
you.
guess.
Hi, come on up. Okay.
Hi, my name's TJ Gamebox. I'm from
All right,
Massachusetts.
where are you?
Massachusetts.
Where are you?
Massachusetts.
He doesn't get it.
All right.
He doesn't get it.
buddy.
I'm gonna go 22.
Ooh.
22.
Okay, guys, got to lock
Thank you
those
so
in.
much.
Remember, when you come up here, you're not representing yourself. You're representing thousands of people. Please genuinely feel the pressure. Everyone cares, okay? Great. Let's lock the answers in. Let's see what you've gone for. Team Jace.
I
Well,
went
it's-
the lowest, 15.
It's any number of combined, so it could be like
Hey,
It's
come
great
on.
to know
Could be
that your
a,
team
what,
have
a
no
9-7?
confidence in you.
No confidence.
Okay, let's go, Team
All right, I'll just
Chandra.
take the points now. It's 7. The number is low. The number is low. I know it
the
is.
cringe is real.
Both
Yeah.
great numbers, both great Final Fantasy games, but the correct answer is 85. 85.
Oh,
That's gonna be a point. for Team Jace.
We won! We were close
Score is
there!
1-1. 1-1, everybody.
Are you sure?
Isn't Merit Lodge a 2020?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm afraid.
Can we check that again?
Nope.
Okay. Maybe next time.
I make the cards, buddy. My rules.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right.
Maybe next time. Yeah.
Much like the much beloved Final Fantasy series, this is truly gripping stuff. Here we go. Question number 3. Launched in 1993, Magic the Gathering will be honoring 32 years of trading card gaming with its collaboration with Final Fantasy. In December of 2025, Final Fantasy will have been a gaming franchise for how many
No, that was not the
years?
question. He said 16, so that's an 8-8.
Okay.
A 9-7.
Name where you're from and what your answer is. If you want to come up
Etc.
You guys better
Etc.
get this.
10-6.
My name's Alan. I'm from Massachusetts, and I believe it should be around 28.
Okay.
28.
28.
Name where you're from, what your answer is.
I'm Issa. I'm from Kuwait, and honestly, I don't
Damn.
know.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'm really just here for the thrill of it, really. So
Yeah.
I'm just.
Me too, buddy.
I'm
Me too.
gonna say I don't know.
It's also, that's a great number.
Yeah,
Put
but
that
shout
down.
out Ben Starr. We love you.
Thank
You're
you.
the best. Final Fantasy 16 is the best Final Fantasy, by the way.
And celebrate me by giving us a number.
I'm gonna vomit. Hurry up,
16.
nerd.
16.
16. There you
16.
go, baby.
There it is.
Oh, dang. I like it.
And name where you're from, what your answer is.
My name is Matt. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm going to guess 40.
40.
40.
Here
Good
we
guesses.
go.
Good guesses.
Thank you so much. Want to lock one of those answers in?
Yes.
Here we go.
All
Team
right,
Chandra.
Team Red, let's go. Name, where are you from? What's your guess?
Hi, my name is Tim. I'm from Bethel, Connecticut, and I am going to guess 39 specifically.
All right. I like that. Come on up. Name, where you're from, and what's your guess?
I'm Matthew from Florida, and I'm going to say 34.
Ooh.
Okay. Hi. Come on up. Where are you from, and what's your name, and
What's
is your
the
guess?
number?
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. I'm from Massachusetts. Woo! And my guess is 36.
A lot of 30s. A lot of 30s.
Lock
Thank
one
you
of those,
so much.
Lock one of those answers in, please.
All right,
confident.
Kenny. What's
We
it
got
gonna
this.
be? What's it gonna be?
Okay.
Please reveal your answer.
All right, we went with 40.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Oh, brah. So I had to take the answer that was closest to that, so 39.
39.
All right,
Well-
it's going to be a close one.
I've got some great news for one of you. The correct answer is
I had no choice.
38.
I had no choice, which is why I picked the right one. That's why I picked it.
Yes.
That's why I did it.
A true
And I'll
genius.
do it again.
A true genius at work. That's now 2 points for Chandra, 1 point for Jace. Coming down to the wire
got
here.
this.
Game's
Here we
over.
go. Let's
come
go to
back. We
question
can come
number
back.
4. Chocobos are the beloved bird character of Final Fantasy, but Magic has its fair share of birds as well. How many bird creatures have been printed in Magic?
Okay. Okay.
I
Name
love
where you're from,
birds.
what your answer is.
Hi everybody, I'm Nick. I'm from Massachusetts.
Yes.
And my answer is 22.
22.
Lovely.
Nice. Nice. All right. Name
That's it?
where you're from, what your answer is.
My name's Ryan. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm gonna guess 69.
69. There we go.
Nice.
Don't cheer that. Do not cheer
Name where you're
that.
from, what your answer
No,
is.
no.
I'm May from Montreal. I like going extra 155.
155.
Where is she
Good
from?
guesses. Good guess.
Wonderful.
Say
Lock one of
L'Oreal?
those answers in, and we'll
Isn't
move
that a
over here to
shampoo
Team Chandra.
company?
Let's go, Karen.
All right. Name, where you're from, and your guess?
My name's Noah. I'm from Connecticut. I'm gonna go with 123.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Good
yeah,
answer.
Oh, Montreal.
Good answer.
What's your name?
I'm liking
She said
it.
L'Oreal.
My name's Joel. I'm from Massachusetts, and my guess is 132.
132. Come on up. Okay. Name, where you're from, and the number?
Jim, Arlington, Massachusetts, 170.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, everyone, let's reveal our numbers, please.
Okay, I went with 55, but I don't know. I feel like it might be more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely didn't hear that.
Like, clearly.
So you've gone with
You're just
170.
gift wrapping
Please,
points.
Gavin, reveal the number.
Well, you know I'm a bird fan. You got Avon, you got Bloomberg birds, you got all these other birds, and the right answer is 403, which puts the point back on
There's a
Team
lot of birds.
Chandra.
Yeah.
A lot of birds.
Listen, I do want to take a moment because actually, Adam, this is embarrassing for you.
I don't know what to say.
Is there anything you want to say to your team to kind of like perk them up, maybe get their ideas going?
This is all being done on purpose because we're about to have comeback of the century. Mark my words.
I don't think
Mark
so.
my words. We
I
got
don't
this.
think so.
It is the first of 4 points, is it not, Ben?
It is the first of four,
First
so
to four.
you're not
Got
doing
this.
great. You are on life support. I do respect you more than Kenny, but this is truly bad.
Hey.
I don't, Kenny. I like you way more. Okay, let's go. Question number 5. One class in Final Fantasy is the White Mage. In Magic the Gathering, a White Mage is a player who
This is
casts
embarrassing for
spells
everyone.
using white mana. How many cards? Wow, this is interesting. How many cards that include white mana have been printed in Magic?
Can't be that many. Can't be that many, right?
Thousands.
Okay.
Thousands.
Name,
Go high.
where you're from, and what's your answer?
I'm just going to give you a ballpark. Go high.
Hi, I'm
Can
Dylan.
my prize be
I'm
skip
from
this
Rhode
section and
Island,
show
and
more cards?
I don't know. Let's go with 5,307.
Okay.
All right.
The number?
All right, name where you're from, what your answer is?
Anthony, Buffalo, New York, and I'm gonna go with 2,512.
Beautiful.
Okay.
High numbers. High numbers. Good stuff. All right,
This is
name
a dumpster
where you're
fire.
from, what your answer is?
Jesus Christ.
Nova from Jacksonville, Florida, and my answer is 10,849.
Whoa.
Wow.
Nice and high. Beautiful.
There we go.
Okay,
God.
let's move over.
Okay.
Karen, let's go.
All right. What's your name? Where you're from? And your guess?
Jeff, New Jersey, 26,806.
Love that. Aiming big.
Isn't there only like
you.
20,000 total
Oh, I love
cards?
this. I love this. Okay, what is your name? What is your guess? Where are you
Like
from?
unique cards?
You want that in that order?
Yes.
My name is Ian. The guess is 10,850. And I'm from Massachusetts.
Thank you.
So 40,000?
All right, come on up. What's your name? Where are you from? And what's your
Give
guess?
me something to work with.
My name is Tommy. I'm from New Hampshire, and I'm going to go ahead and throw out 1,222.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Here we go. Lock in your answers, please.
This could be for the game.
I feel like this could be for the
not- I
game.
don't own
Chandra gets a
40,000
point here.
unique
They
cards.
will win.
This,
What?
Lot riding on this.
Come back of the century.
not this
Come
one.
back of the century. Just wait.
We need this.
Just wait.
It's 22,000
Great
cards.
thing
That's
is
what I
you
thought.
definitely remember all of those high numbers, right?
I wrote them down.
Totally.
Excellent.
That's what I thought.
So, reveal your answers.
Okay, we went with 5,307.
That one's going to be the winner. It's too high, but I think that's going to be the winner.
Kenny,
I
this
think it's
could
going to be
for the win.
closer to the
Let's go.
Yeah.
2,500 or whatever he said might be closest. Because there's a lot of colorless too.
10,850. The number is going to be astronomical.
Well, the correct answer. I have everyone listening to me now. Awesome. The correct answer is 6,143. Point over for Team Jace. Jace on the board. Jace on the board.
Come back of the century. Here it is.
All right,
Okay, everyone,
3-2.
we're going to have to speed through
Please,
this.
just
You've got
let
this.
Kenny
It's really,
win.
really close. You can see the
My
numbers right
God.
now. It's 3-2. It's getting closer than we thought. Question 6. The Buster Sword is one of the most well-known weapons in Final Fantasy. In Magic, how many cards have either the word Buster or the word sword in their card name?
Oh my god.
Okay. All right, so name, where you're from, your answer?
All right, so my name is Charles. I am from Pennsylvania. I'm actually also from Philly.
Go Birds.
And I like a lot of numbers. So the number I'll give is probably, I would say, 105.
Great.
I love that. Thank you.
Name, where you're
7,000
from,
guesses
your
pretty
answer?
good. It was, yeah.
Hi, my name's Adam. I'm also from Philly as well.
Go Birds.
And the number I'm going to say is 255.
Good.
255.
All right, my friend, name where you're from, what your answer is?
My name's Brian Moses. Jesus Christ, this isn't Paradise Lights. My name's Brian Moses, and I'm from right
His name
here
is
in
Brian
Massachusetts.
Jesus
Make
Christ.
some noise. And my guess is going to be 285.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, Kenny, let's go. Karen, what do you got?
All right.
You missed
what's your name?
1
Where
through
you're
6.
from? And what's your guess?
My name's Z. I'm from Connecticut, and my guess is 348.
348. Come on up. Name where you're from and the number?
my name is Mallory. I'm from Albany, New York, and I'm going to say 350.
Go to 100.
Here we go.
Hello.
Go down.
You look lovely. This is awesome. Name where you're from and what is the number?
Okay, I'm Meg. I'm from Boston, and my guess is 750.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, quickly lock those in. We don't have much time. Lock those numbers in. What do you think?
All right.
Okay.
We went with 255.
I had
Team
to go with
Chandra.
our lowest number, so it's 348.
Wow, okay.
I guessed way too high.
All right, well, the correct answer, I'm afraid, is 72, which means that Jace gets a point. We are tied up, 3-3. All right.
The drama, the drama, the drama. Okay, this is it, guys. This is crunch time. It's 3-all, first to 4. Make this happen.
Hey!
Wow.
This is what you've given me to work with? I picked this because you made me! We have to win, guys, come on!
Let's go!
Team Sandra!
Guys, hype up your team.
Rolling the
Comeback of the century, everybody. Let's go. We got this. We got this.
Come on. Chandra!
Chandra! Chandra! Chandra! Chandra! Chandra! Chandra! Chandra! Chandra!
Hey! Go! Go!
This is what you're fighting for. Something incredibly superficial.
Our pride.
The knowledge that where you sat today, for some reason, makes you better than everyone else.
So, wait, super means it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, great thing, Kenny.
There we
Great
go, we're
thing.
superficial, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Last question. It's incredibly important. This is for bragging rights and for just being cooler than the other half of the room for some reason.
Yep.
Our panel today features 4 members of the Wizards of the Coast design team. Final Fantasy VI holds the record for a mainline Final Fantasy game with the most playable characters. But exactly how many main playable characters does Final Fantasy VI have in total?
All right, here we go. Name.
I don't remember the. I don't know the answer to this one.
Drew from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm going with 15.
15.
And you know what? Wait. Gonna go over here for the next one.
Ooh, okay. All
Back and
right.
forth.
Whoa.
Are you ready? Okay, name where
Going
you're
back
from
and
and
forth,
what is
huh?
the
Doing
number?
that stuff again.
I'm Matthew from Massachusetts, and I'm going to say
12.
16.
16.
Back over here.
Bruh.
All right, name where you're from, your answer.
Hey, yo. Don't use this to get brownie points of the host. Just say the right answer. We got to win.
I'm Jack from New York. I'm going to go with 23.
23.
Main playable
Back over here.
characters.
All right, hello. You know the drill.
Ace from Brooklyn, and I think 21.
Thank you so much. 21.
All right, name where you're from, your answer.
Bruh.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm from Niskayuna, New York, and my number is 20.
20.
Okay.
There we go.
Remember, guys, it's Final Fantasy VI. It's actually not that hard.
Ooh, shots fired. All right, name where you're from and what is the number?
I'm Mike from Springfield, and the number is 14.
You knew it. I mean,
Definitive. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, you got to lock in one of those answers, right?
Yo.
Wait, hold on. I want to get up and talk.
You done. You washed.
All right, those answers getting locked in. This is for it. This is for all the bragging rights. You'll feel good all Saturday. Are you excited to find out your champions? Here we go.
Let's go.
Kenny.
6, 5, wait.
Here we go. Right, okay.
Okay.
What have you put?
Oh my gosh, we've been with 15.
You
I
put
was getting all
15.
kinds of answers. I hope this is right.
Team Shanta, what have you put?
I'm just not sure, so I guess I'll just give you guys the right answer at 14.
Please, put us out of our misery. What is it?
We've got 15 on this side, 14 on this side, and the correct answer is...
It just
14.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Thank you. Thank you. Put it up.
Hell yeah.
Shit on Jace.
Good job.
Congratulations
Good job.
to our winners. Commiserations to our losers. Thank you so much for every single person who came up. I know it's quite daunting. The lights are incredibly bright, and believe me, I know what a bright light feels like.
I just want to thank my opponent. It was a great match.
Oh, thank you. All right, I'll see you on the rink.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Did you say rink?
Sorry.
And on that note, thank you so much to our incredible guests.
Playing hockey.
Talia, Kenny, Karen, and Adam.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all for helping.
Oh my God, show
And
more
also
cards
to
already.
you, thank you so much for participating in this very, very silly game. I promise we will get back to the serious thing of looking at cards. But I believe, are we throwing some booster packs out into the audience right now? There you go. I can see some things being thrown around the audience right now. I hope they're booster packs. Please stay in your seats. You will get them if you want.
I love seeing all the hands up.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a booster pack. Who doesn't want a booster pack, Ben?
I want a booster pack.
I love it. I love it. So much excitement.
Okay, everyone, please settle down, settle down. I did ask myself before I came out, is everyone in the audience feral? And you have just answered that question for me. So thank you.
They're gonna
so
probably have
much.
like
And thank
4
you
to
for being
5
very, very
Sephiroths.
silly. I think we need to
It's
get
gonna be like
back
Lord
to
of the
a
Rings.
little bit
How many
of
Saurons did they
decorum.
have?
So please,
4?
thank you to our guests. Thank you to you. Let's bring our panelists back onto the stage.
American,
Gavin,
he's British.
Shaquille, Dylan, Daniel, let's rejoin.
Karlov Manor, yeah.
Who wants to see some magic cards?
They're throwing out Thunder Junction cards because nobody wanted those pieces of shit.
Okay. That was incredibly well planned. Let's go. I want everyone to settle down, and I recognize that we can't really jump back
Luckily, we're back.
immediately into Final Fantasy VII. I think we need to jump into something a little fun. I think we need to jump into something, dare I say, a little cute. Let's watch this.
To the Chocobo Ranch. It's at Bill's Chocobo Ranch. Neon ink Chocobos. One of 77? How much do you think that'll cost?
Wow.
The one of
That's
77, you think that's what?
crazy.
10K? 10 to 15K each?
That's not in the cards. I just said that myself.
Just the gold ones serialized.
Zakil, talk us through this.
Out of 77
I
made.
love Chocobos. Right here is our flagship Chocobo at Mythic in Traveling
77.
Chocobo. It is a 3-mana 3/2 that allows you to look at the top card of your library, as well as cast and play birds and lands from the top. Earlier, we showed you Bartz and Boko, who
20K?
interacts within the bird archetype within the set. That card enters the battlefield and deals damage or birds deal damage off that trigger. This card also doubles those triggers. And we knew
So the black
that,
one's only in Japanese?
Chocobos are such an important part of the Final Fantasy franchise that we had to do something really special. So enter our colorful Chocobos. Here are 4 of them in neon ink in yellow, pink, green, and blue. These are found in all language collector boosters. And during development, as we were putting this together, we worked very closely with Final Fantasy VII creative director Tetsuya Nomura, who really loved the idea. One of his producers during development told us that his favorite Chocobo from the original Final Fantasy VII was the black Chocobo named Teo because he was the fastest one in the original minigame, and it held a very special place in his heart. So
I like the green one.
We built this last card in kind of as a secret in the background and surprised Tetsuya Nomura. So that card is exclusively found printed in Japanese and available in all language collector boosters as a nod to that story for him. And then the lone serialized card in Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy is the Golden
So this is the only serialized
Chocobo.
card.
This card is only available in English collector boosters and is serialized out of 77 for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Give a round of applause for Chocobos. Okay, now we move on to a little bijou game called Final Fantasy VII.
They should have done 777.
Never heard of it. It really is an amazing video game, and it has a huge reputation. Dylan, this game is huge.
So huge, in fact, that on the original release for PlayStation, it came in 3 discs. If you were an old school gamer, if you were there back in the day, you knew you were in for a wild time when your game came in multiple discs, especially for an RPG. So, walk with me. Final Fantasy VII follows the story of Cloud Strife, ex-soldier and
Yeah, I don't
current
know if it's
mercenary,
textured.
as he winds up
I think
in this
people will be out there
broiling
actually weighing
conflict
packs.
between the Shinra Electric
Crazy.
Company and the anti-Shinra resistance group, Avalanche. Cloud's adventure begins in Midgar, of course, the city of Mako, and this
8
world
came in
that
4.
we're introduced
Yeah,
to
but
is
8
inspired
was
by
one of
these
the
science fantasy aesthetics and
worst,
these kind of cyberpunk-inspired themes.
my opinion.
And the first disc is just about this amazing adventure that brings together the core cast of characters like Barrett, Tifa, Aerith, Red 13, as they battle against Shinra, and ultimately learn of a deadlier threat looming on the horizon, Sephiroth. Please insert disc 2. Disc 2 launches us into the open world, traveling across the lands, battling
Kenny.
monsters, riding Chocobo, collecting materia, and visiting many iconic
8's good,
locations like the Gold Saucer.
but it's nowhere near
and
as
Cosmic
good as, like,
Canyon. And we get
6,
to meet
7,
more allies
9,
like
10.
Sith and Sid Highwind. And if you're going for the full
4.
experience in the original release, you spend
8
a
is
lot of
probably
time
one of the
recruiting
weaker ones.
Yuffie and Vincent. The stakes become higher. We learn more about the ancients and Genova, Sephiroth's master plan, and Cloud's increasingly mysterious backstory.
12 is trash. I wasn't a big fan of 12. I wasn't a fan of 13
Please
either.
insert. Oh, okay.
Not
We
a
wanna
big
do
fan
disc
of-
3.
not a
So
big fan of
finally,
lightning.
in the ultimate finale, we hit the major climax, plot twists,
Sub alert broken? I might have it off.
shocking
I don't know.
character deaths, cataclysmic boss battles, and a final gauntlet
should be
against Genova and Sephiroth to save the world. So I've taken you on this extended and somewhat silly journey just to kind of remind all of us how
6,
much
7, 10.
content we
6,
needed
7,
to
9,
fit into
I
the
would
set
say.
just from Final Fantasy VII.
I think 6, 7, and 9 are my favorite.
So, there are
Top
obviously some
3.
amazing cards. Let's get to it. Gavin, let's show us one.
All right, well,
Final Fantasy
we have to have the
33?
characters for Final Fantasy VII, of course. So how about Cloud? We knew we had to do Cloud.
Yes,
Obviously, we wanted to do
Cloud.
Cloud, but what was Cloud going to do? How are we going to
Cloud,
make him
the
a card
Voltron
that was
deck.
worthy of the Cloud mantle? Well, the first thing Cloud does when he comes into play is go and find an equipment. Of course, he's got to find his sword. That's critical. Now, if you are a long-time Magic player, you might know about a card called Stoneforge Mystic. Very powerful Magic card. Cloud is a little bit reminiscent of that, finding you any equipment you want. It also doubles all the abilities conferred by that equipment. So you put, say, an old school Sword of Fire and Ice or Sword of Feast and Famine on him, boom, you're doubling up all those triggers. So there's a lot of really powerful stuff you can do with Cloud. This card is incredible and well worthy of being Cloud.
Jug,
Now you might be wondering,
are you here?
what is Cloud going to find? What kind of stuff might you want to find with Cloud? Well, there's a card in the set called Buster Sword. That's some pretty good news, right? Would you all like to see the Buster Sword? Well, I'm not going to show it to you. You can stay tuned to find out what the Buster Sword does in the days to come, but I can tell you that it's 3 mana, curves right off of a Cloud, and it's pretty good on Cloud himself.
Oh, not showing it to us. Quite literally the definition of a double-edged sword. Zakil, what's next?
Our next card, in my opinion, is one of the most iconic characters in video game history. He has brought excitement, joy, and terror to millions of fans around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce to you
Jug,
illustrated by none other than Tetsuya Nomura, Sephiroth. So Stephanie mentioned earlier that there were 9 artists from Square Enix who created illustrations exclusively for this project. One of those artists, of course, was Tetsuya Nomura. They all had the choice to pick any character from the Final Fantasy series that they wanted to illustrate, and we would make sure that they had a card.
Safer Sephiroth
one of,
over here?
Nomura's missions when he drew this illustration was to really narrate the progression that the character
Young
has
Sephiroth,
in multiple different
Sephiroth,
forms.
Safer
So if we look
Sephiroth.
on the left at the bottom, you have child Sephiroth that was introduced in Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, who of course then grows up into adult Sephiroth from the original game, who then transforms into his penultimate form in Bizarro Sephiroth, which then leads to the end-all, be-all, most powerful version in
Oh, I didn't even see Bizarro down here.
So, do you all want to see his card? So let's check out Sephiroth, Fabled
I'm building this deck.
He's a 3-mana 3/3. Whenever he enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Then, whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And if this is the 4th time this ability is triggered, transform Sephiroth into Sephiroth, 1-winged angel, who is a 5/5 legendary creature angel nightmare with flying and the ability Supernova. As this creature transforms, you gain an emblem with the same ability from the front side, and it is capped off with whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of other creatures. If you do, draw that many cards. This is the 2nd ever creature in Magic the Gathering to produce an emblem. This is the card that I think went through the most design iterations. It felt like we had a new build of Sephiroth every single month within development because we wanted to make sure his card was special and he would have a grand entrance into Magic the Gathering.
Amazing. Okay, let's moving on. So many amazing characters in Final Fantasy VII. Here's one. Dylan.
We're going to talk about the story of Sephiroth and Cloud. Of course, we're going to talk about Aerith herself. So here we can see Aerith is the white mage and healer of the party. She's here to protect you. She's here to heal you. And she has a 3rd ability that may or may not be related to a story beat. So if you're a fan, let us know if that happens to be relevant or not. I'm not sure myself.
Yeah. Spoiler alert on that card for some reason.
I think emblems should be removable.
Okay, let's moving on.
We see this beautiful version of the Flower Girl herself. But we're not just going to talk about Aerith today. We're also going to talk about Tifa! So we see 2 Tifas here, and I actually see a Tifa
on the
here
right
front
in the
row.
commander
Look
deck.
Fantastic. The one on the left here is Tifa Lockhart. This is her main set card, and I just want to personally attest. I have won so many games in-house with this card, and I've lost even more games against this card. She is very, very powerful, but it's not the only Tifa that we have. Dan, you want to talk about the commander version?
Right, you see that Chocobo symbol? That means we're talking about Commander. This is the secondary commander for the Commander deck for Final Fantasy VII.
I like the one on the
This
left.
is Tifa. She has melee. I put that on pretty early on. You know, martial artist, she gets in there. But the second ability I was struggling with for a little bit of while, and then Dylan joined the game design team pretty late, and he's like, hey, what if you focused on this? So we leaned into that extra attack. That's what she does in the game. You're trying to get combos going. And so whenever you attack with melee, you get to power 7 or greater, which is the sub-theme of the deck. You get those extra combats. So as you guessed, there is a full Final Fantasy VII Commander deck led by none other than Cloud himself. This deck
Tifa on the right is the alt
equipment
commander.
deck with that sub-theme of power 7 or greater. So in this deck, you'll find every party member you come to expect, maybe some villains in here as well, and all the iconic equipment like a Buster Sword, Yuffie Shuriken, Tifa's boots, everything you'd expect to find. And then with that Cloud as the face commander, he's tying everything together. He gets in there with that haste magic. He gets a free equipment. And then whenever he attacks, you draw a card for each attacking member of your team that is suited up. And then if his power is 7 or more, he gets paid as that mercenary to cast those spells.
Incredible. Right. Here we are.
That deck's
Finally,
gonna be so much
the
fun.
game I've been waiting for, and hopefully all of you have, Final Fantasy VIII. Quite literally the game that changed my life, so this is a very emotional moment for me. Dylan, let's talk about this game.
There is so much to love and appreciate about Final Fantasy VIII. I'm so happy you all cheered so loud for this game. So Final Fantasy VIII kind of pushes what we understand fantasy to be as a genre, right? It really leans into a lot of esoteric ideas. You know, if we all remember Squall dreaming of Laguna and events of the past, trying to figure out how to stop the future, and then ultimately we go up against Ultimia, whose whole plan harkens back to Chaos from Final Fantasy I to compress time and space into one massive power source for her to become an ascendant being. This story explores depth upon layer of how we understand fantasy to be in a modernized setting. I see why you love it so much.
I do. Daniel, let's talk us through this card here. My boy Squall.
Squall, Seed Mercenary.
As Renoa once said, he's the best looking guy here. It's Squall. He's a bit of a lone wolf character, so that's what his abilities represent. With that rough divide, whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets double strike. Why is that important? The second ability, whenever he deals damage to a player, you get to return any non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. You got double strike, you're doing that twice. I think we have a booster fund version to show as well with that full art. Yeah, there it is. And I did mention Renoa at the beginning, Zakil. Maybe we should show her card?
Yeah. Here we have Renoa Heartlily. Look at that. Look at that.
Angelo.
Yeah, Renoa is a close friend of Squall, and mechanically is known for battling alongside her dog, Angelo. So it would only be right for her to have the ability Angelo Cannon in combat. When you attack, if you have a very large party, you get a buff. Angelo, any target creature you control, but specifically Angelo, gets a huge buff. So he will come in hot, so get ready. And I think next we're going to be looking at the villain of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, enough with these heroes.
Ultimia.
Go on to the real hero of Final Fantasy VIII, and that is Ultimia. We did something very special on this card. It's the first card in Magic's history to be an uncommon that takes an extra turn. So this is an incredibly powerful card for an uncommon. When she comes into play, she does a little surveilling, you know, fills up your graveyard a little bit. And then finally, when you have, interesting number, 8 cards in your graveyard and 8 mana, you can turn her over to Ultimia Omnipotent, take another turn, and I'll tell you, 7/7 Menace plus another turn is a pretty easy way to close out a game. So yeah, take that, heroes, take that.
Okay, do we have any Triple Triad fans in the room? Oh. Would you like to see some Triple Triad cards? Yeah, I asked, they won't let me show them. Okay. But believe me, all they're in there. So, moving on pretty swiftly, we're going to go on to a little game called Final Fantasy IX. Here's
9. This game was phenomenal.
Here's Stephanie to tell us more.
I'm so excited to introduce my personal favorite of the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, the Turks?
Final Fantasy IX was a fond farewell to the classic medieval fantasy setting. It paid homage to earlier games through its stylized character designs.
Sure, they'll be in
and
there.
was full of references and features from past games. One of our core creative pillars in this partnership was artistic authenticity. We needed to preserve the stylized character designs while interpreting it through the lens of Magic so we could offer something fresh and exciting while staying true to the heart of Final Fantasy IX. The story follows Zidane as he teams up with the Princess of Alexandria, Garnet, to stop Queen Braun and her army of black mages.
I wonder what they're going to show.
It balances charm and lovable characters with an emotional, often heart-wrenching story of self-discovery and acceptance. As a teenager, the themes were so memorable and spoke to my angsty younger self. I went as far as getting my hands on the piano collections and learned to play a few iconic pieces by heart. I fondly remember replaying my save file over and over again just to rewatch those incredible
Make so much money with
cutscenes.
this? Oh, absolutely.
This game was incredibly resonant, and as with every game in the Final Fantasy series, it was important that we did Final Fantasy IX justice.
Okay. Let's see some cards. Akil?
Yes. The first character
Kuja.
we're going to look at is one of the antagonists from Final Fantasy IX, and that is Kuja Genome Sorcerer. Now, his illustration depicts a scene in which he is summoning an army of black mages against our heroes. He is also the head of the black-red archetype within the set that focuses on black mages, and he has two forms. At the end of each end step, he summons wizards to the battlefield, and once you have 4 more, he transforms into his more powerful version, Trance Kuja, that doubles the damage of all wizards to players or permanents you control. And check out that beautiful wizard token. Up next, we have a card for the Magic fans. We haven't shown any Final Fantasy Through the Ages bonus sheet cards.
Ragavan!
Check out this card reprint of Ragavan Nimble Pilferer as Zidane Tribal. Gavin, who else from Final Fantasy IX is in this set?
Well, as a huge 9 fan, I'm really happy to show to you.
9 is phenomenal.
That's the reaction I was hoping for, everybody. Here's Vivi. All right, so a little bit of black mages going on right here, right? We saw black mages a moment ago. When you cast a non-creature spell, you ping them, but Vivi's a little more curious than that. Wants to get +1/+1 counters.
I was
and then
close
generate
with the magic
equal
spells.
to Vivi's power. So not only will it generate mana as you cast more and more spells, but also if you say giant growth or put an equipment on them, it'll generate you tons and tons of mana. On the right-hand side there, we will see Fire Magic, which is a card with the new tiered mechanic. Tiered is a brand new mechanic appearing here in Final Fantasy. You've never seen this before. We knew we had to get abilities like Fire, Fyra, and Fyraga into the set somehow.
I figured they were going to do something like this. I don't.
On a handful of cards.
What did I say?
And the
I didn't
more
say it
mana
was
you
an
put in,
instant.
the bigger effect you get, just like in Final Fantasy.
I can't remember what I said.
Okay, Gavin, you're sounding very enthusiastic. Is it okay that your favorite game is Final Fantasy IX, right? You put a little bit extra work into this one.
Yeah, as the lead set designer, I might get to put my thumb on the scale a little bit, and so I gave 9 a bit of extra love. That's my bias.
Talking about extra love, right now we're moving on to a game called Final Fantasy X. First game on the PlayStation 2, the story of Tidus and Yuna. It's an epic quest, and it's probably the reason that I'm around. The first Final Fantasy game to have actual voice acting in it. Without it, I wouldn't have a job. It's also one of our commander decks, isn't that right, Daniel?
That's true. And speaking of favorite Final Fantasy series,
Tidus.
of course I had to make a Final Fantasy X commander deck.
Tidus.
The thing about commander decks is while the main set goes wide, touching all 16 games, these commander decks go deep. They're going to get those heartwarming moments that follow Yuna and her party along. And while I'm not showing you that specific Yuna moment that you're probably all thinking right now, believe me, there is a beautiful card in the set for that. But let's talk about this deck. It is built around the Sphere Grid. That's what I wanted to do right away. It is a counters matters deck. In the game, you're moving pebbles around, getting new abilities and raising your stats. In the game, you're going to be moving your counters around like you're building the Sphere Grid. Tidus himself has that ability in the beginning to set up your party at the beginning of a combat. And then cheer whenever he connects. He will proliferate all of those counters, draw cards, and you will keep going and going for that goal. And yes, there is Blitzball in here.
Yeah. Blitzball, baby. Okay, so that's Tidus, but where is Yuna, Zakil?
Guys, you can't have Final Fantasy X without my girl Yuna. For those who don't know, Yuna is a summoner that travels through Spira alongside her guardians, and her main mechanical ability is her power to summon Aeons onto the battlefield to aid her in battle. So this card focuses entirely on interacting with
There's no serialized. The only serialized is
resurrecting summons
the
from
Chocobo.
the graveyard each turn, as well as buffing them while they are on the battlefield during your turn. And check out this beautiful borderless treatment as well.
Gorgeous. And from the summoner to the summoned, let's see one of the most iconic Aeons. How does this one work?
This is the correct reaction for Bahamut. Now, when I was a kid, if you asked me to picture the coolest possible thing I could ever think of, I would get you Bahamut very fast. So when we concepted this card, the conceptor, the artist, and the art director, we all agreed we had to capture the aura of Bahamut and put it into this card. So we see the moment, the first time you summon it in-game, and if you look at the flavor word Mega Flare, you get to that overdrive, and you know the game will be over.
Oh, that's pretty. So, also, this game has some of the most beautiful vistas in all of Final Fantasy. Let's show off some cool lands.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mentioned some of those rare towns earlier. This is part of a 5-card cycle, one for each color, and for 5 different games. This is Zanarkand Ancient Metropolis. This does something we've never done before, which is put an adventure on a land. These are the only 5 adventures in the set. They're on the cycle of 5 lands, and it's a great flavor fit because they are all things that happen in that location. Of course, if you're hanging out in Zanarkand, you might encounter the Fates. You can look for all 5 of these rare lands in the set, one for each color.
Amazing. So before the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, there was the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XI.
Oh my God!
Here
yes,
we go.
my people!
And because it is an MMORPG,
11 was so bad.
You had a different approach to the other games in the series.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy XI as an MMO has a lot to explore, a lot to cover, a lot to dig into. It was my first MMORPG of all time. I spent countless hours, scouring the realms of Vana'diel, whether I was making friends online or whether I was going up notorious monsters and absolutely just getting my butt kicked. I was just having the time of my life. So speaking of notorious monsters, let's talk about potentially the most notorious monster in that game. Just as a quick recap, if you don't know the story behind this character, this is a nigh unbeatable super boss.
Nearly bankrupt the country
for the
or the company.
Toughest of alliances with the best gear, and even then, it was very difficult to even approach taking down. If you take a look at his card, I wonder what kind of time you will have when you go up against him.
You have protection from each of your opponents.
From something absolutely terrifying to something a little cuter, let's talk about the Dragoon's Wyvern.
Where are my Dragoons at from Final Fantasy XI? We all remember our Wyverns. I love this little guy. I spent so much time trying to go after this advanced job specifically because I love the idea of having the Wyvern. And so that's what Final Fantasy is about. It's achieving that amazing job class, fantasy, in these beautiful, amazing worlds, and then never forgetting the whimsy.
14's making a bank. They won't make another MMO for a while.
Yes, we've talked about monsters, we've talked about the sense of adventure. Let's talk about everyone's favorite NPC, the original Taro Black Mage from Final Fantasy XI, Shantoto. Now, Shantoto is the flagship uncommon, signpost uncommon within the set that focuses on spell slinging. When you cast non-creature spells, she gets buffs on the battlefield, and then if you cast anything that costs more than 4, you get to draw a card, which is very powerful in the context of limited.
That card in Storm would be nutty.
That's like Commander.
Absolutely amazing. So, from Final Fantasy XI to... Did someone say 1? Final Fantasy XII. We yin, we yang. Here we go. Dylan, give us the story.
Right. So Final Fantasy XII takes the much beloved world of Ivalice, and there are many adventures, many stories happening here. In the intro, we learned the Arcadian Empire is beginning their conquest on Dalmasca, and we meet our heroes 2 years thereafter. We're introduced to Vaughn, Princess Ashe, and of course, Balthayer and Fran. I'd love to show you this card. This is a commander deck I'm building immediately when this set comes out. And so, of course, as Sky Pirates, they will care about piloting the Straw, going up against, and hopefully winning the game very fast.
Amazing.
More
now it's
combat
time to hear from
phases.
Stephanie, our art director, once again, to tell us about some very important pieces of art.
So this is a very special story about the incredible Isamu Kamikoku Ryo. The city of Arcades is one of the first images made for Final Fantasy XII. Visually inspiring and dense with details, this piece immerses you in the world of Ivalice. This image was used as a promotional ad in a Japanese magazine to get artists excited to work at Square Enix on Final Fantasy XII. There are many employees
Noctis
who
was
are
15.
currently at
14's the
Square
MMO.
Enix because of
That's
this
what you're
painting.
thinking.
And in turn, Isamu made incredible friendships during his time there. It's no exaggeration to say this painting changed lives. It stands out as an example of Isamu's artistic perspective to push the imagination and craft worlds that have never been seen before.
And what's amazing about that piece of art is there is a link between 12 and the next game in the series, because that same artist had a hand in designing what we're about to show you now.
ライトニングらしさっていうのをもう一回考え
Didn't
た
show much
時
at
に内面にその激しさは秘めているんですけど、外から見ると静かに佇んでいるような姿が一番ライトニングらしいのかなっていう。 ライトニングって武人なんですよね。侍のような女性なので、普通に立ってても常に剣構えてるんですよ、心の中では。マジック・ザ・ギャザリングとファイナルファンタジーのコラボは、僕自身もすごく想像してなかったコラボレーションなので、マジかって感じで、
I need to see how this guy pronounces his last name.
書かせてもらえるっていうのがすごい光栄だなと思いました。商品としてのすごい完成度の高さにちょっとびっくりしちゃって、よかったなっていうふうに思いますね。頑張って書いてよかったなっていう。
Dylan, tell us a little bit about the game, Final Fantasy XIII.
Final Fantasy XIII perhaps is the game that leans most into its science fiction elements as it thrusts us into the artificial world of Cocoon that floats above Grand Pulse. You see, in this world, we have these supernatural entities that are known as the Fall Sea. Though humanity fears them, they seek their protection. And the Fall Sea have the ability to designate La Sea, which are basically prophesized chosen warriors. This game takes a bit of a spin of if that's really a good thing or not. As we all come to find out, Lightning, our protagonist, and her party members have chosen to become these new chosen heroes. And they go on an adventure and a quest to fulfill their focus, which may end up bringing about the end of the world? Don't worry, they are our heroes, though. Let's talk about Lightning and some gameplay from Final Fantasy XIII, Zakil.
Yeah, so Final
Tactics
Fantasy
won't be on
XIII's
this
primary
one.
game mechanic is a mechanic called Stagger. This mechanic rewards you for exploiting your enemy's weaknesses, and once you trigger the Stagger gauge, you're able to deal additional damage within combat. So it only felt right for Lightning to have a similar ability called Stagger. So let's take a look. She is a 3-mana 3/2 with the ability Stagger. Whenever she deals combat damage to a player, until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or permanent that player controls, it deals double that damage.
Are there
instead.
snow fans?
And then she has these small, innocuous kind of buffs, meaning with First Strike and Trample. So if you attack with her and, let's just say, a 1/1 creature, she has the ability to deal combat damage in the First Strike phase, triggering Stagger, then buffing everything else you have on the battlefield, which is going to be quite good in red-white aggressive strategies.
And it is not often that Magic uses a mechanic for just one single card, but that is what has happened here. Gavin, what have you done?
Yeah, this is something very special. This is something that we had to do a lot of talking and a lot of convincing, and it was such a perfect fit, literally a perfect fit for these two characters, Fang and Vanille. So here we are, Fang and Vanille. Now, if you know the story of Final Fantasy XIII, these two characters are searching for each other. And they
meld
eventually
cards.
find each other. And they do that well in the game, right? So when Vanille comes into play, you mill some cards, you get someone back, maybe it's Fang. Fang wants to leave the graveyard, and then you get to draw cards. But toward the end of the game, you might know that they fuse into Ragnarok. And so the meld ability here actually allows you to turn the cards over and turn them into Ragnarok. They're both uncommon, so you can do this in drafts. And let me tell you, if you get off Ragnarok, you are going to win. It is a very, very cool moment, and literally the perfect encapsulation of these two characters.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, now we move on to the critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV. Personally, I like to think of myself as the weird adopted uncle of Final Fantasy XIV, so thank you. And I'm so happy to be able to talk about that. Listen, Dylan, this is a game that everyone has an opinion about, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I just have 3 words for all of you out there.
Suck my dick. Oh.
Feel. Think.
I was way off.
Iconic words spoken by the Mother Crystal, spoken to all of you warriors.
I was
of light
way
out
off.
there. The critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV is often described as a theme park of Final Fantasy history, and I just absolutely love that comparison. It takes content from all the previous titles, it remixes them, updates them, and it brings them to a modern audience. It introduces you to games, characters, stories from long past, and hopefully inspires you to go try out all of these amazing games yourself. Now, in the game, of course, you are the Warrior of Light. You get to customize your character, pick your job, and embark on a journey.
I couldn't get into this game. I heard
whether you
everybody
are going
says
up
it's
against
so
an
good.
Asian threat, perhaps, championing
I
Hydaelyn's
couldn't do
will,
it.
facing off the Garlean Empire.
Can't do MMOs for some
battling
reason.
The Dragon Song War, maybe going up against the bloodthirsty Xenos, or becoming the Warrior of Darkness, crying many, many tears at the end of creation, and most recently, enjoying a summer vacation.
About those golden
you
chocobos?
are the
Yeah.
Warrior of Light, and this is Final
I did try
Fantasy
I played about 40 hours into it.
You are all emblematic of the very wonderful community that Final Fantasy XIV is known for. Wonderful, friendly, kind, empathetic, and we thank you so much for being here and being a part of this wonderful, wonderful weekend. I can just personally attest to how amazing this game is and how profound it has been on all of us.
Daniel, this is obviously the last of the Commander deck, so I imagine you had to play a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV, didn't you?
Exactly. Unlike Dylan, and sounds like a lot of you, when I was first assigned this project, I had never actually played Final Fantasy XIV. So naturally, over the next month, I put 200 hours in with my best friend from work. Getting all the way to Shadowbringers, I played Dancer and Black Mage for those curious. And we had to get Hildebrand Manderville into the set.
You have over 1,000 hours?
It was so important to be genuine to the fans because you can play the entire campaign of Final Fantasy XIV and not even see this lovable character. This card itself refers to his first chapter, The Rise and Fall of Gentlemen, where there are plenty of zombies, and Hildebrand is not dead after all. You can find Hildebrand and all the other scions in the Final Fantasy XIV Commander deck, led by none other than Y'shtola herself. Where as you cast your non-creature spells with mana value 3 or greater, you're going to drain the table, draw cards, and continue controlling the game, as long as you manage those cooldowns. Enjoy the deck, please.
Amazing. And whilst Y'shtola's right here, I think it's a great time to touch base with another of our celebrity artists talking about their specific version of Y'shtola.
自分がギャザリングの絵を描けるのっていうのがちょっとびっくりしまして、まあ、今回その両方のプレイヤーの橋渡しになればいいんじゃないかなと思っています。僕割とその油彩風というか厚塗りっていう方で絵を描くことが多かったんですけど、やっぱりそれってギャザリングとかからかなりインスパイアを受けていました。これはテイストとしてはそのファイナルファンタジーのその14のエフェクトの綺麗さとかちょっと目指してデザインさせていただきました。Y'shtolaは強い衣装を持ったキャラクターなので、そこら辺が再現できるようにしたかったっていうところがあって、ちょっと人知を超えたような雰囲気を出せればいいかなっていうところで、少し凛々しい感じの雰囲気にしました。はい。
Obviously, there are loads of cards still to show you, Zakil. Let's start with that sweet version of Y'shtola.
Yes, so here is main set Y'shtola Ruel. She's a 6-mana 3/5 cat druid that has the ability at the beginning of your end step, blink a creature.
This is main set
and if it
Y'shtola.
is the first end step, you effectively take an additional end step. So you're able to gain advantage with creatures on the battlefield that have enter the battlefield triggers by blinking them. And then, just like the last Y'shtola card that we showed at the face of the commander deck, also manipulate and use end step triggers to your advantage. So playing the main set Y'shtola within the commander deck Y'shtola deck is probably quite good. And you know, one of my favorite things about Final Fantasy XIV are the summons. What's up?
Yeah, so let's talk about one you all might recognize.
Odin.
Summon Primal Odin. If you've gone
How many cards in this set?
14,
a lot.
You know you're in for a tough time. Odin likes killing stuff. Let's start with that first chapter. Blows up one of your opponent's creatures. That's neat. It's the second chapter where things get really gnarly. If you know Odin, you know you do not want to get hit by this attack. It will take you out. You'll take out your whole party. If Odin hits you during a second chapter, you lose the game. Do not get hit by Odin's second chapter. It is bad. If you survive that, if your creatures perhaps block, buy a little bit of time.
Put an equipment on there, make him unblockable.
The third chapter where Odin's owner will draw 2 cards and make each player lose 2 life. Perhaps they'll even draw another Odin. Now earlier I mentioned that there would be some job select equipment from Final Fantasy XIV. So where are all my summoners at?
Little Rogue's
well,
Passage.
Here is the Summoner's Grimoire, another job select equipment. So when this comes into play, you make a 1/1 hero and attach it to it. Now whenever that creature attacks, you get to put a creature from your hand on the battlefield. So it's like a little elvish piper for your longtime Magic fans. But if it is an enchantment card, it enters tapped and attacked.
Yeah, like dumbass
so that enchantment
merfolk.
creature like Odin will come in right away. One
Just
other
like
thing I want
that
to
one.
call out is in front of the equip ability, you'll see what it says there, Abraxas. Well, that is actually the weapon that is shown in the art there. Just a little nod to the different weapons that are used. The Final Fantasy
just a Rogue's
team
Passage.
thought it'd be really cool to actually reference the weapons that are in the art for the 14 tied job select equipment. So you'll find that on the equipment in the set.
much of the major narrative of Final Fantasy XIV
I don't know
is the
anything
metaphysical
about this
conflict
character.
between Hydaelyn and Zodiark. So today we're going to show you one half of that conflict with Zodiark, Umbral God. He is a 5/5 with Indestructible God, and when he enters, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control, rounded down. Now that's an interesting story element. If you're a Final Fantasy XIV player, you'll have to tell me if you think that is spot on to the story that Zodiark might be involved in. And here we can see the moment where I wiped every raid I was ever in doing this trial. I could not for the life of me remember this mechanic. I'm so sorry to everyone who was playing me. I was your Gunbreaker main tank, not using my cooldowns correctly.
I know there are people in the audience that are thinking, oh, there's one person from Final Fantasy XIV I'd love to see. Here he is, you thirsty people.
So, I mentioned before that you might find villains in the commander deck. Well, here's one every Final Fantasy XIV player knows. It's Emmett Selk. Now, the villains in the decks play on a little different axis. Emmett here will cast spells from your graveyard over time because Ascians know their history, but they will still trigger all of the non-creature matters cards in your deck.
Okay, here we go. 14's done. We're now moving on to 15. We are going like a rocket ship. It's again another great example of the way in which Final Fantasy has reinvented itself over the years. Dylan, what's the story?
So in Final Fantasy XV, we see this dramatic tale of epic war, political conspiracies, ancient magic, opposing kings, but ultimately it puts the story of friendship and camaraderie center stage. We follow Prince Noctis and his very best of friends, Ignis, Prompto, and Gladiolus, on a road trip across the modern fantasy world of Eos.
What a bad
and
game.
embroiled in this conflict, we are going to go up against many cool monsters, cinematic boss battles, epic duels, but one of the biggest things that Final Fantasy XV left on me was just the very sense of time and pace. The slow, quiet
15
moments
was
you
so
spend with
bad.
your friends, pulling pranks at each other, making food at camp, discovering new recipes, listening to music while you're driving around. It does remind me a little bit of the four of us and how we kind of made this set. So I kind of
Prince of
soft spot for
Emos?
this. Excuse me if I start crying.
I'm also there as well. Thanks, guys. Okay, let's look at some cards, please. Zakiel, take us through it.
Yeah, so Noctis is the main character from Final Fantasy XV, and his most unique mechanical ability is called Armiger, which allows him to wield the 13 royal weapons that come from his lineage that are depicted in his artwork. So his ability allows you to cast artifact spells from the graveyard as a nod to the Armiger ability. And also, take a look at this beautiful borderless artwork.
I think I like the left one better.
But of course, opposed to Noctis is the game's antagonist, Arden. And here we see celebrity artist Roberto Ferrari has captured his signature grin and his powers over the Star Scourge. And we actually see that we use that as a flavor word because while you have Arden in play, you too will be making your own army of demons to take over the world.
Okay, that's Final Fantasy XV done. We're finally here, guys. Final Fantasy XVI has arrived. I don't remember any of it. Dylan, what happened?
So just to catch you up to speed, Ben, I don't know if you've heard of this game, but this takes place at Valisthea. It is the latest entry in the main Final Fantasy series, and it is one of the most dark and mature titles the franchise has seen thus far. It tells this gritty and grim tale of magic and explores the notions of free will. We are introduced to our
I know there wasn't much
Clive
there
Rossfield,
wasn't a lot
who is
in terms of like mechanics. Like there's no materia or anything.
And we watch
but I
him
really
grow
like
over
16.
decades of in-game story as he turns into the epic hero who shall deny fate itself. And as we all know in this game, the summons are of paramount importance because Clive is someone known as a dominant, that who harbors the ability of the summons, the icons inside of them. And in the game, our heroes turn directly into their summons. I wonder if that sparked any good design ideas?
Well, it certainly did. And this is actually quite an interesting story because, well, we've been working on the set for 4 years. We said that earlier. Well, as we all know, this game came out 2 years ago. So it came out during the development process of the set. So we actually had a weekend when the game came out, and we just all started playing and trying to figure out, okay, what could go in, what could go in? This card, this card, this card. It was a great time.
Massive call out. Zakiel was always 2 hours
You hate
ahead of
16?
me,
16 was
and
phenomenal.
we were like nonstop playing. My wife is here. She can confirm I was not sleeping at all. And somehow he was always ahead of me. I have no idea how you were just so... It was a wild weekend. Our group chat exploded with like 1,000 messages every single night. Like, this is an awesome concept. This could be a card.
You have to get this character in there, right?
I totally missed that quest. I have to go do it. So.
Okay, guys, be quiet. I want to talk now. Okay. God, we get it. You played the game. I was in it.
Yeah.
Listen, I think it's time that we previewed some cards, and I know what you all want to see. But first, let's see a character that is incredibly important to Clive in this story.
Yeah, so this is Jill, Shiva's Dominance. This card shows off all of her icy powers. So on Jill's side, she comes in and unsummons a creature. Then when she transforms into Shiva, she will make one of your creatures unblockable twice. Then she will tap all of your opponent's lands. They cannot stop you. And then unlike other summons that go away, she goes back to Jill, re-triggering that Enter's ability to unsummon and continue using those icy powers.
Okay, now this is the moment you're all waiting for. This is the moment that I've been waiting for 2 hours.
Sid.
You want to see the Clive card?
He's wearing it as a shirt. What a wiener.
I have been sweating under that thing for 2 hours for this exact moment. Let's see it on the screen.
So here we have...
The art is really good.
To be clear, that is the correct reaction. Yes. So here we have Clive and Ifrit. We knew we needed an epic card, and so that's exactly what we made. On the front side, Clive, of course, has Devotion to Red. Of course, it is the only Devotion card in the main set, but it fits his character so well. Who else would be so devoted to Red as Ifrit's Dominant? Then, when you're ready, perhaps the turn after you play him, you can pay 6 mana, flip him over, he fights a creature right away. Bam! Ifrit shows up. Time for that epic boss battle. Then, you get some mana the next turn. A turn after that, he flips back to Clive, if your opponent's even still alive by then. And you get to do the whole discard your hand and drop again before preparing to turn him back into a Ifrit. So, you know, pretty powerful combination of abilities here. Wouldn't you say, Ben?
I would say he's very cool. I would say he's the best one. You know, don't take my word for it. Okay, guys, that's it. We have done 16 mainline games, but I know, are you excited for this? Zakil, when can we get our hands on all this Final Fantasy goodness?
Yes, Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy releases globally on June 13th with pre-releases starting on June 6th. Now, if you're a Final Fantasy fan who has never played Magic before, I suggest you start with the starter kit, which comes with 2 60-card decks that are pre-constructed, along with a learn-to-play booklet and digital download.
Tactics won't be in here. It's mainline only.
Magic Arena.
1 through
we also
16.
have our play booster, which includes all of the cards that we previewed today, everything that is standard legal, as well as the Final Fantasy Through the Ages bonus sheet. Now, the additional products that we have here, as Daniel mentioned, are the 4 commander decks.
This will be on Arena,
that
yes.
are focused on individual games, 6, 7, 10, and 14. You can relive these games if you played them before, or learn about them if you never have. They're some of our favorites, and we think that they're such an amazing product. We also have our collector SKUs in the collector commander decks, which are the same mechanical identity
Tactics was
of
really
those
good.
commander decks, just available in 100% foil, as well as our collector boosters, which include all of the mechanical cards from the main set, many from the commander decks, and
I'm going to start playing a little bit of
amazing
Arena,
treatments
too.
such as the golden Chocobo. Here's our complete product suite, including the beautiful gift bundle featuring Ifrit and Bahamut from Final Fantasy XVI. And again, this set releases globally on June 13th with a variety of play events starting then, running through the remainder of that month, and MagicCon Vegas, along with Pro Tour Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy on the weekend of June 20th.
And I'll be there. So if any of you guys are there and want to play, I will have my Sephiroth deck done by then.
And of course, if you're a digital gamer, Final Fantasy is also coming to Magic the Gathering Arena with 3 different bundles you can pick up. The first, of course, is the pack bundle. You might be wondering, Gavin, why is it called the pack bundle? Well, great news. It comes with 50 booster packs, 5 golden packs.
Spell table games? Yeah.
VV
We do
sleeve,
every
VV
Thursday
version,
we play.
All kinds of awesome stuff going on there.
I haven't
Let's
lately
go
because
on
I've either
to
been
the
sick or
next bundle
busy.
called the pass bundle.
But in a
You might be
couple
wondering,
weeks,
why is it
I'll be
called
back on
the
it.
pass bundle. Well, this comes with
And you can just sign up.
5
Just do
Noctis,
exclamation
comes
mark
with full
TNM.
sleeves for both of them, and you get access to the Mastery Pass. Now, the Mastery Pass will let you unlock those awesome
I
Chocobos
think.
for Jason Tronder,
There
we
it
saw
is.
earlier. You get a regular Chocobo at level 1, a Jace Chocobo at level 25, and the Tronder Chocobo
Then once
at
we get
level
to
50.
once I
And
get
then finally, we've
back
got the play
after
bundle. You can imagine
next
why
week,
it's
I'm
called that.
out of the
You get
country
tons of tokens to
for a
go play
week.
in drafts. Plus, you get
The week after, I'll be
Kefka,
back for Magic.
Terra, some accoutrement for them, and my personal favorite, the Moogle companion that can hang out with you in a game. And who doesn't want a Moogle hanging out with them? You can go pre-order that on Magic the Gathering Arena right now.
Amazing. So let's moving on. Let's get you even more hyped than you are already with this amazing trailer.
Yeah, vacation. I wish.
I've been waiting for this. I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, this is
Final
good.
Fantasy is coming to Magic the Gathering.
Bit rate's a little rough.
Draw swords. Cast spells. Play heroes and villains from all
TV.
16 core games.
People are depending on me.
Ah, cancer. Yeah, that's a little bit more important.
I've waited for this chance. It's time to shape your story.
Family is a little more important.
Shall we?
I like how they show remake stuff, but that's not in the game.
You know what? You know what? I think there's still some people who might be on the fence about tucking into this, right? If
You
there
tucking?
are, let's
Tim.
see if Stephanie can persuade those who might not want to get involved.
Thursday nights on Spell Table.
All right, folks. When you think of the essential ingredients of what makes Final Fantasy, what comes to mind? You've got your classics, your chocobos, summons, crystals. We're fans, we know all this. But there's one more thing that has been in nearly every game of the Final Fantasy series that we haven't quite talked about yet. Or should I say someone? It's Sid. Better yet, Sids. Because why settle for just
Sick.
one?
They're gonna show Sid.
Okay, folks, this is how we're going to do it. Remember when I split the room up in two? That went well, didn't it? We're doing it again. Okay, this side of the room, I'm going to say a number. This side of the room, we're going to shout one word and one word only. And what word's that going to be? You know it. We're going to start with 2, okay? Because that's when he first appeared. So it'll go something like this. We'll say a number. It'll start with 2 like this. Say 2 with me. 2. Okay? You ready? Obviously, you're not going to say 2 the whole time. That would be insane. Okay? Don't. I think there's quite a few people watching at home. They're going to be so annoyed. We've just stayed on 2 for hours. Okay, are you ready with me? Here we go. 2.
And any number of cards named Sid. Same card, different arts, yeah. "16 Sids, and you can have them all in the same deck."
It has been absolutely awesome to spend time with
so
you.
glad they
I
showed
hope
that.
You've had fun. I hope you are going to spend lots of money on this. Please do. Thank you for coming. I want to thank the incredible panel. Gavin, Zakil, Daniel, Dylan, Stephanie. I've been your host, Ben Starr. You've been amazing.
Sid deck
Thank
happening?
you for
Yeah, there's
coming.
going to be a Sid deck. It's going to be led by the 7 Sid. It's over. It's over. The funny thing is they showed the Buster Sword but didn't show the card. Like the text box. Hilarious. And it's over. All right. I'm going to go take Doggo. I'm going to take Doggo to the park. So I'm going to go do that. I'll be back a week from Monday because I'm out of the country. Nice shirt. Got it at Star Wars Celebration in where the fuck was that? California? Don't get deported? Fuck it. It's Canada. No, that wasn't Orlando. It was in California. Arlington? No, not Arlington. What's the name of that town? Starts with an A. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? It's California. Stupid state anyway. All right. I'll see you guys a week from Monday. Anaheim. That's the one. I'll, yeah. Sephiroth deck incoming. Take it easy.